Hello everyone, I'm ENP and this is going to be a UDK basic tutorial, just going over the basics of UDK, things like creating BSPs, putting materials on things. So yeah, this one will probably be a longer video because it covers more. So what we're going to start with is we're going to create just a standard floor. By doing that, you want to have this selected, one of your brushes, which is going to be a cube. We're just going to use a cube for this one. And we'll just set it to the standard thing that's usually used, just 124 for all the settings. And this works because everything needs to be in the power. Oh, never mind. Don't do that for that one. Everything needs to be in the power of 2s for UDK, and that's how the measurements work. And then you just hit build and CSG add right here. Now likewise you can use the CSG subtract to get rid of it. Then we'll just move this over. Wait a second. Alright. Now if we can play this level as it is right now after we add lighting. If we try to play it right now as it is without lighting, you can't see anything. And like, why does the paths need to be built? So to add lights to your scene, you can hold L and then left click and a light will be made. That, or you can go to your content browser, actor classes, go to lights and pick the light you want to use. Right now I'm just going to go over how to use standard point lights. And by clicking space when you have a light selected or any actor selected, you can toggle between the different modes of altering it. This one just lets you move it around. This one lets you rotate it in X, Y, or Z axes. And this one lets you scale how big you want the light to be. And if you click here on lit, you'll be able to see the light change. Your screen may look something like this, with the different angles and different viewports. If you want it to look like mine, just click this right here. It'll expand it to this one. I just use this one because it's easy to get a glimpse at what you're doing, and I'm not making a lot of measurements. Okay, so now that the light's there, what we're going to do is we're going to hit the build lighting button, which is right here, and uncheck light mass. Well, I'm going to do that because I really don't need the light mass right now. This is just a standard map. If I wanted to make dynamic shadows and things like that, which I'll go over in a different tutorial or maybe later in this one, then I would use light mass. And then, because we have to build the paths and the lighting too, hit the build all right here and give it a minute to build everything. Except I messed up here. It accidentally opened light mass for me. So if I go to lighting, uncheck that, hit OK, it'll build static lighting. And then if we were to play it, you have lighting. Now if you were to export this game type, it wouldn't really work right. What you got to do is you got to go to your view, world properties, and you need to edit things in your world properties, such as game type. I made my own custom game type for this tutorial. I'll just use the standard UT deathmatch game type. And then if we were to play it here, oops, you have your UT deathmatch game type. And the reason why I don't have my gun, radar, and things like that is because I edited that in the Unreal script code, so it wouldn't show up for me. For yours, you'll probably get a gun and radar and all that other stuff. So next we can go over materials, adding material to the BSP. BSP is one of these, just a surface BSP. What you want to do is open your content browser, and you can really pick up any material. I have a lot of materials on mine. Some of them are the ones included with UDK, a lot of them are ones I made or got from other people. I'll just use a standard tile material. You can search it up there and go use gray tiles. That works. Then if we were to play it, you got your tile. So that's a standard part of it, adding materials to the surfaces. You got your lighting. And then I can show real quick some advanced lighting, which would be pretty simple to do. What you want to do is go to your BSP surface properties, and change the light map resolution right here to a lower number, such as 5. That's what I'll use. For BSPs, when you want to change the light mass resolution for like advanced shadows, more detailed shadows, you want it to be a lower number. But if you want detailed shadows through static meshes, the light mass resolution has to be a higher number. So I can show that real quick. You go to a static mesh, just say we'll pick this one. Just random select one of them. I open up, go to light mass resolution. See, it's a 64. If you want it to be really detailed, you set something like 255 or something. Not 255. That's ridiculously high. You set it to something high, like anything between like the 20s or 30s to 68 is really good. They'll get you defined shadows. But if you have it really high, it may cause rendering issues that you don't really want to deal with. So for the detailed shadows, what we can do is I'll do something like let's see, a gate, or let's see if it's there. I'll use a fence. Yeah, I look for a fence. Oh shit, what am I looking for? Yeah, I'll back to gate. I'll use a gate though. And then if we look here, we'll just pick up something random like this. And then for this lighting, I'm gonna get rid of this point light right here. And then I'll toggle back to unlit. You can set to lit, unlit, detail lighting, whichever you want to use. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to actor classes, and I'm gonna go to lights, which is right here. And I'm gonna go to spotlights. And I'm gonna do just a regular spotlight. Just move it up, get it into position, and angle it. And as you see, you get a really good defined shadow. And if we build the lighting without light mask, because it's unnecessary. If you do use light masks, that's good for dynamic lighting. And you see you get really detailed shadows right here. That'll transition into game, and you get really interesting looking shadows, really defined shadows. And then if we go to the surface properties and we set it back to, I think it was 32, and we build the lighting again, you won't get those shadows. The shadows aren't there anymore. So the lower that is, the more defined shadows you'll be able to get. Now we'll just get rid of those real quick, because that's that part. And then we can go over adding static meshes to the scene, which is just as simple as adding materials. You just go to your static meshes. I'll just grab something random, this autopsy table, and you just drag it in. Of course, this is really big, so you can size it. And then you can go under its properties, and you can edit things such as the lighting, things like that. And give it different materials. One thing you want to be consistent of with your static meshes is you want to be able to have collision to them. So make sure that you have collision on it. This one does have collision, this one doesn't. To add collision, you just go to the material editor, click this, it'll show the collision. If there's nothing there, then just click auto convex collision, or any of the other ones. This one's the primary one I use, and just hit apply and it'll generate it for you. And then you want to make sure that this collision type is to block all. Another thing we can go over is more detailed lighting in your level, to add like contrasts and more colors to your level. So what we'll do is we'll add a point light again by holding down L and left clicking. And I'm going to tone down this a little bit. And what we're going to do is go to View, World Properties, and we're going to go to Midtones. Just type in midtone, and right here. Now if we want a more contrasted scene, we can set these all to things like 1. Except this is the wrong one. You want to go to Scene Midtones, and there you get a more dark contrasted scene. And it just looks a lot more detailed in a way. Now you can add more contrast to get different colors, things like that. So you go to World Properties, you can set this to things like 1.5, keep that at 2 and set this to 1.5, and you'll get a completely different color in your scene. It's more of a purplish type color. I'm going to set these back to 1. One more thing I'll go over is sky domes. This is something that a lot of games use. This is for the sky of the game. So by default, your UDK should come with a sky dome. Just search sky dome up there, and it should be a static mesh, and it should be a full sphere. Now you want to expand it so you can kind of get a glimpse of the horizon, but not to the point where it's a rigid horizon. This should be fine. Might be a little too big. So, and then by default, it should also come with different skies. So you want to select material instances for sky, or maybe not, I bet. Select just materials for the sky, and you'll get different materials that comes with it. So we can set it to like sunset. And then if we play it, you'll get like a neat little sunset thing. Of course, this would work better if the map actually extends to the skybox. But that's just a very basic understanding of how that skybox would work. And then, of course, you got other things you can use in the actor classes, such as fog and fluid. Fluid will let you create oceans or waters, whatever you want to do. Fog, of course, is for fog. And then there's all those other things for triggering instances and things like that. Alright, well that's my first UDK basics tutorial. I may do another to go over some other basics. And I am going to make a tutorial on how to do random generated content in UDK. That'll probably be my next one. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more.